Welcome to the Ebel Grasslands Ranch. We are located about 2 hours northeast of Dallas, Texas. And we invite you to join us on our daily outings. Here we've got Carl, William, and Christian.
Hello. This pasture we're standing in here is our birthing facility. While in the month of March, as of now, mid-March about, we have 45 mamas here that have babies, and we just like to bring them up here for we can monitor them and make sure their birthing is successful without any difficulties. That's why we have the birthing facility. But after they finish birthing, they will be let back into the pasture where they will clear our brush out and eat lots of forage. Now we'll move on here to the birthing facility inside. As you see, we have some outside, but we also have some more inside.
That's good, Chris. Very good, buddy. We'll take a look inside and just see kind of how we have this. This is an old barn we set up with pens, individual birthing pens, so the moms can be successful. They often have 2 or 3 kids, so they need a bit more help to make sure everybody's well bonded, and then they grow a little bit older, like Chris said, and we bring them out to the pasture. Here's some of our newest members. And there's Zeus, the guard dog. He looks like he's just laying around, but he's really a good guard dog. He doesn't let any coyotes in here to harm the kids. He does a good job. You can see our shelters are made of lots of recycled materials, old carports and grain storage and all kind of things that they can get under when it's raining. So that helps everybody stay dry and warm when it's nasty weather out.
We even use old barrels, as you can see over there.
All right, let's venture in. So William, what do you have? What are you carrying?
Bottles so I can feed the baby goats.
And why would you feed baby goats with bottles?
Because their mama not doing good.
Their mamas aren't doing very well?
The mama.
Mom that's not feeling good needs a little bit of help, doesn't she, William?
Yeah.
And that's 34. She's not doing so well. She probably got what's known as milk fever. When they birth large kids and have a really big demand on their calcium, their body can experience a pretty stressful and traumatic depression. So we're trying to nurse her back into health now. And she's got 2 kids, so we're feeding them with a bottle at the moment. William's gonna let those out. You wanna bring 2 of them or 1, William? And we use a milk supplement to give these guys a good start. You're looking a little bit better, Mom. Good.
How many times a day do you feed these little kids?
When they're small, like now, the first 2 weeks, you really need to feed them about 3 times a day. When they get a little bit bigger, maybe like 3 weeks or so, you can do morning and evening, and that's sufficient. But the mom is looking much more aware. That's good. She's looking like she's probably going to make it. I was a little bit afraid we might lose her, but she seems to be more aware. She looks like she's looking for her daily feeding, which is good. Food and water, the first thing that you look for livestock health. Yeah, if they're onto their food and their water, they're usually feeling pretty good. So I think she's on the mend there. And you can see the other goats in the pens. You can kind of show them what they look like.
So we set the mamas up in each pen so that they're able to bond with their babies. We've tried it several ways, letting them birth out in the wild. And some mamas do a great job keeping up with their babies. Others maybe not so well, and they might go off and leave their babies and might even lose their babies. So we found that it's best if we give them a little bit smaller space to bond with their babies just before, hey Mama, just before we actually let them out.
Yeah, you just never know. March is our kidding period, kidding time. You never know. March can be freezing cold with freezing rain, and so that's really hard to do with goats. We bring them in here to this barn, and that works really well for us. It's kind of just an old barn we put individual pens in, made them out of panels and various materials, but it really works well.
How are the babies doing?
Good.
So they've learned to
Mom's
suck
eating.
well on the bottles.
I always love feeding time.
And who do we have over here? Where are your babies?
She has one in
She's
there.
got them here somewhere.
She's got her hidden. Oh, there she is. Hey, baby. All right, Mama.
They all have to be given hay and water. Every time we come to the goat barn twice a day and make sure everybody's got plenty of hay and water. And then we give them, in the morning we give them some feed. And there's a few that have 3 kids, we might give a little feed this evening. But most of them just get hay and water in the evening.
So what's the gestation period of a mama goat? How long are they pregnant for?
About 5 months. So from October, November, December, January, February, and then March 1st they're ready to start having their kids.
Now, didn't she have 2?
She did, but one of them was born, probably had maybe a little bit of a long birth, or the amniotic sac got over her nose or something, and it wasn't really healthy. So we lost that one, but this one looks like he's doing real well.
So goats often have multiple births, twins,
Most often do, yes.
most often, twins, sometimes triplets,
Or even 4.
or we've even had quadruplets before.
That's extremely rare, though.
Sometimes can be tough on the mama having triplets if she doesn't quite have enough milk.
These, in fact, had another
I'm going to start
sister
giving them some hay.
that has since passed away due to milk or nutrition loss and died in the cold night.
How many baby goats do we have so far?
I think there's 61.
61.
61 healthy babies.
And 32 have kids.
32 mamas have kidded.
That means they've had their kids. You say kidding. We're not kidding.
Not kidding if they kid.
Punchline.
Let's go show them Champ. Can you introduce?
Yeah, go show them Champ, Chris. Show them why she's so special.
This is Champ 185, as we know them by identical numbers, and her 2 babies, Grizz, the far one, licking himself or itching, whatever goats do on the far side, and then Scooter, the white-headed one. Grizz is, well, I guess, as you can say, like, not accepted yet. Champ's only accepting one of them. I don't know, she's off and on with accepting Grizz.
And what's special about Champ?
And if Champ would get up here in a minute, maybe you can see why she's special. But she's missing one leg because she lost it due to a accident in the shelter. But now that we've upgraded or fixed up the holes in the shelter where they could get stuck and stop. This goat right here is actually the reason we started fixing up and preventing the gaps in the shelter, because she lost her leg due to that.
So Champ was born about 2 years ago, spring of 2018, and she was quite a rambunctious toddler. Her mama tried to show her all the dangers of the world, tried to tell her all the dangers of the world, but Champ didn't listen. She jumped and flipped and ran wildly. Unfortunately, she did get her leg caught in a metal shelter. Fortunately, we found her the same day and released her, and she had a gash on her leg. She continued to jump about, and we ended up having to leave the ranch for a family commitment, and we had a friend come over and look after our goats for us. And they were watching and noticed that there was the Champ's leg was gashed again. And fortunately, they gave Champ a antibiotic and a splint, and she continued, didn't slow her down a bit. She continued to run around. Well, we got back a few days later, and we found Champ in the pasture, and we saw her splints as she was running about. We came back a day later, and we found her splint on the ground, and unfortunately her leg had actually come off. Once again, didn't slow Champ down. She carried on, and this is her first birthing, and so she is going strong, had her first twins. You can see that goat doesn't quite like it if those other babies get too close. They get a little bit nervous, and so she's telling the other babies and Champ very clearly, keep yourself at a safe social distance. And goats are social animals, and they actually do prefer staying in groups. Obviously, from a predator standpoint, they are very low on the totem pole. And so in the wild, they can be very vulnerable. So there's safety in numbers. So they do like to stay together. And lone goats actually can become depressed if alone. So this birthing pens is a really good way to set them up. They've got each other's company, yet they can be separated, and they can really bond with their babies.
Sleep is a very important role for little goats, because that's all they really have to do, because they have a lot of growing to do. You can see this one right here is taking a long nap, probably since like noon today. Getting up in with periods of having a little bit of bite to eat.
So we have goats here on the Ebel Grasslands Ranch because they're browsers, meaning they're brush eaters. So we live in northeast Texas, which was once the grassland prairies. And we are restoring the grasslands prairie, and what's really important is to have browsers that eat the brush. And so we've got cows that are grazers, and they eat the grass, and then we have the goats that knock back the brush so that more grass can grow. And there's some of our calves over there doing what cows do, grazing. And once the mamas have bonded well with their babies and are in good health, and when we get lots of sunshine, then we'll let them out, and they are able to run and jump freely, hopefully not getting into any trouble like Champ did. A major problem here in northeast Texas. You see these two little bottle babies are quite friendly, once you begin to touch them, they often want to, or become like puppy dogs. Forget that they're actually goats. And they're absolutely adorable. All right, signing off from the Ebel Grasslands Ranch. Thanks for joining us.